and welcome to the first artist talk for our exhibition From Decomposition to New Form, Biological Inspirations in Art. I'm Karolina Raczyńska, I'm a curator of this exhibition, and I represent Melete Gallery. Tonight, we have a pleasure of welcoming Riiną Õun, a pioneering London-based Estonian designer, material researcher, and artist. Riina lives and works all around the world, and her work is a fascinating bridge between traditional craftsmanship and the future of sustainable design. With a background in luxury leather goods, she has transformed her practice to focus on innovative, bio-based materials, creating beautiful alternatives that redefine our relationship with nature. Her practice, however, extends far beyond material development. Often in collaboration with different communities, Riina creates and explores art for non-humans, assembling beautiful installations with biomaterials that are left in nature to become food and shelter for animals, fungi, and everyone else. She also specializes in land art, working directly with the landscape on projects like Cornucopia, which are often created through collaborations with local communities. Her work is a dialogue between nature, culture, and technology, inviting us to rethink our place in the world through aesthetics and ethics. Riina is a leader in biodesign and sustainability, and we are truly delighted to have her with us tonight. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Riina. Hi, Riina. Absolutely wonderful to see you.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be here. Thank you.
I'm really fascinated by your work. I love the works that you present in our exhibition. There's a lot of them, and I believe it's easier to understand art if we hear it directly from the artist. So it would be absolute pleasure if you could tell us more about your artistic process, about your ideas, about your work.
Absolutely, gladly. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Riina Õun, and here is my practice. My background is in luxury leather accessories, and I have a brand, Riiną Õun, specializing in handcrafted luxury leather gloves, working with leather, preserving this centuries-old craft while combining it with modern technological advantages. But the conversations with my vegan clients about 8 years ago led me to question what is vegan leather made of. And the most widely available vegan leather is actually made of plastic. So these conversations made me think, how can I contribute to changing this very pollutive system, like as obviously plastic is very pollutive during the production. The vegan leather is very short, has very short life cycle, and then extremely long biodegradation cycle. So I ended up on Material Futures course at London College of Fashion, Central St. Martin's. Central St. Martin's, UAL, I wanted to say. I started working with kombucha bacterial cellulose, transforming it into leather-like material. So for those who don't know, kombucha is a cold fermented tea drink that grows layers of bacterial cellulose on the surface to protect its food source, which is sweet tea. And many designers have been working with bacterial cellulose before. Probably the best known is Suzanne Lee, who already did it over 15 years ago. But first, I started also growing it on large scale. And thankfully, I was able to do material research residency at the Green Lab in London, which really helped me and offered me the space and possibilities to explore further. But soon, instead of growing it on large scale, I switched to developing my own recipe, actually working with kombucha drink producers, collecting their waste bacterial cellulose, as for them only the drink was important. And the SCOBY, which is short for symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, that was a side product. So instead, I started working with leftover SCOBY from kombucha drink industry, and developed this recipe, breaking it apart, adding only organic ingredients and building it up again. So before drying, the material appears in liquid state. As you can see here, I would probably compare it to mashed potato a little bit. And then once it dries, it becomes really leather-like material. And the color is actually part of the material structure. So it's added in the powdered form during the recipe creation process, not dyed afterwards. So although initially I started with black colored, which was from charcoal, I also experimented with other colors, as you can see here. And the aim was to create a fully circular economy system where the initial material would be harvested from as a side product of kombucha drink industry, then traveled to a material lab, made into material. Some digital fabrication could be involved. For example, I worked a lot with laser cutting, then also craftsmanship. I'm also quite curious to see how craftsmanship has to adapt to work with new materials. And at the end of the life cycle, the material could return back to nature, being fully biodegradable. And instead of polluting the environment, it would nurture it. So I continued working with this material in my second year of Material Futures Masters, and developed this material called SCOBY Compo, which is water-resistant, strong, leather-like material. And also I created a collection of handbags from it. Within the collection, I was curious to explore different ways of working with the material. So from traditional stitching to modular tessellation, which is kind of like 3D puzzle, which doesn't require like any fastenings or like stitching, and also liquid molding, which is a very interesting way of and unique way of working with this material, because as I mentioned, its initial liquid state, it can be applied onto underlying forms. So for example, that's how the sphere bag and the face bag were created. So since graduation, which happened to be the first year of the lockdown, which was also kind of the reason why I had to compromise developing the material that would be suitable for making gloves, which was my initial intention, to making it into the handbag collection. As during the research, it turns out the material for gloves needs a little bit more stretch, and research for that is still ongoing. But the material can also already be used for handbags, as shown before. And also, I have collaborated with other fashion brands. For example, here is a Berlin-based eco couture label, Felder, who made a corset for the dress from SCOBY Compo material, which is also laser cut.
Looks beautiful.
Thank you. And continuing to work with this material, trying to bring it closer back to nature, and also bring people back to nature. And this kind of second volume of SCOBY Compo handbag collection was created of SCOBY Compo Floras material, which has locally collected dried flower petals and plants embedded into the material, making it ephemeral work of art. So in this collection, as well. There are some like recognizable shapes and some new ones. I've also experimented with laser cutting the material and laser etching it. Yes, again, the aim of this handbag collection is to bring it back to the nature at the end of its life cycle, so that it will just dissolve without leaving a trace. And in addition to bacterial cellulose, I've also worked with other biomaterials, perhaps more notably with the eggshell biocomposite, for example. So walking on eggshells is a conceptual footwear exploration, posing a question: how can the fashion of the future be made of kind of leftovers of food industry, for example? This eggshell shoe also visited the Berlin Design Week last year, and it got quite a lot of attention. And with working with eggshell biocomposite, I also try to explore working with this material kind of in the context of ceramic, using different techniques. So, for example, the Guardians of the Garden series, the head vase and the tiny gnomes, which were made experimenting with different natural colorants, from beetroot to spirulina, the orange peel powder, and also different binders, from gelatin to alginate and so on. This resulted in this product called the Guardian of the Garden, gnome-shaped garden ornament and plant fertilizer, which you can place in your garden or a flower pot. And in the garden, as it responds to the environment, to the rain, to snow perhaps, everything, it starts to biodegrade after about 3 months, and getting so-called swallowed by the land, as according to the old legends, little gnomes lived underground and took care of the garden at night. So kind of coming back to this lovely story. This Guardian of the Garden has been tested in Estonian climate, and I can say that there it completely dissolves within 1 year. So thanks to the help of my mother, who was carefully monitoring the biodegradation process.
Fantastic. I would just like to mention that we can see, actually, there's a video of gnomes on the available, not here, that's presentation, but anybody that's like to see it, there's a video. Please go on.
Yes, exactly. Of each stage of the biodegradation process, of 365 photos taken every day of the year, speed up into about 1 minute.
Yeah. It's fascinating. So yeah.
So considering other techniques, working with the eggshell biocomposite, I've also worked with the 3D printing this material with the other binders. So either for shape research or for creating artworks. And this leads us actually to this topic of installations for the non-human, where also some of the eggshell biocomposite has been used. I developed this workshop, I think now 2 years ago, with the aim to expand the participants' thought bubble from human-centric design to more planet-centric creation, to think about the needs of other species when creating these abstract installations. Usually they're approximately like tabletop size.
Okay.
And we have run these workshops which last about 1 or 2 days. We have run them in Estonia, in London, in Mexico, and in Athens, in Greece so far, being very successful. So as I said, the aim of these workshops is to make participants think about the need of other species, and the content of the workshops is creating different fast-drying biocomposites from the food waste. And this year, this summer in July, I had an opportunity to work on this more in Copenhagen art residency. But first, before I talk about that, here's a little close-up of this workshop process.
Fantastic. How many? How many participants did you have there?
The number varies, but I would say approximately from 5 to 10 people.
Okay, and everybody's creating the same thing together.
Again, this varies. Like my initial aim is to bring everyone together for teamwork, to discuss together, to create together. It's also great for team building, actually. But the workshops have shown that, as they run organically, sometimes smaller groups are formed. Sometimes someone ends up creating their own piece. So, yeah, it really varies.
Okay, great.
And moving on to Copenhagen. So during the art residency in Copenhagen this summer, I wanted to take this idea and expand it into a larger scale. So I created this about 2.5 meter tall installation, Refshøjlund edition. That's the name of the area on the outskirts of Copenhagen. It's situated in the self-made park, as I like to call it. It's a former shipyard where nature has taken over and fought its way back through concrete for over 30 years. So by now the trees are actually quite tall already, and you can see like grass making its way through asphalt, which for me is like very beautiful symbol of nature taking back what belongs to the planet. Yes, so creating this piece, I was collecting locally found organic objects and different plants from the land, from the sea, as well as working with local restaurants and making some biocomposites from the seashells and from the eggshells to cover this installation as well. So this is meant for other species to find shelter, to find food, and why not passing humans to take a selfie or engage in other ways, as this installation was inaugurated in the beginning of August. And last week I got an update which looks like this. So unfortunately, I don't have any control over what happens to the installation once it is in the environment. And I guess some people had their own opinion about it.
Well, it's a way of interacting as well. So we see different forms of interaction. This is an interaction. Whether this was for you, this what something that you wanted is, I don't think that's the case. But it's really sad that the artwork that was supposed to host other creatures.
I think these pictures speak for themselves. Otherwise, without this kind of interaction, the artwork was meant to slowly biodegrade into the earth, nourishing it. But, well, this is how this one ended. And of course, I'm very sad about it. But talking about community artworks and participatory art, this leads me to something I created last year in Estonia, on the biggest island of Saaremaa, in the tiny village of Piila. The village that has only about 17 permanent residents came together, as well as inviting people from outside of the village to communally create this cornucopia Horn of Plenty installation, which is approximately 3 meters high. It is facing the forest, and it's homage to Estonian forests, as Estonia is known as the country of forests. Unfortunately, deforestation is a rising problem, and this work was definitely meant to highlight this issue. I would also like to mention these plant ropes that were created at different workshops at different corners of Estonia, from Narva, which is the border town on the east, as well as at the music festival in Saaremaa, so from different corners of Estonia. And we had a workshop in Tallinn as well during the design festival. Well, all these ropes were utilized to tie together the installation, and in a symbolic way, it kind of brings it all together. Again, over 70 people were involved in the creation process, some more remotely than others. And I can say that this installation is still in place. It has been used by wild animals. As I mentioned, with a very small population of humans, the village is actually quite well populated by other species and wild animals. I have spotted the signs of this being used by other species, from spiders to some wild deer. So yes, talking about the communal artwork, actually I would like to also mention the memory map of Eastern Europe, another art residency that I was involved with this summer. It was part of Tiny Spaces Deep Connections program, which is cross-European program funded by Creative Europe. And I was selected to participate in art residency in Athens. So traveling from Estonia, the rule was I was not allowed to use airplane to get there.
Yeah.
So this meant I had to travel overland, or by water, but I traveled overland. From Estonia all the way down to Athens. I spent 135 hours on the road, going through 18 different countries, in 16 of which I actually stopped and collaborated. So my artwork for this project was capturing my travel memories and impressions through plant printing and hand embroidery. So plant printing or pressure printing again captured the nature and as it changes through different countries within Europe. And hand embroidery was really nice thing, a really accessible thing, which could be done also on the buses and trains, as well as great way to connect with different people, kind of like universal language. So along my way, in each country where I stopped, I reached out to different culture centers, art spaces, or individual artists, and people came together, and we co-created these patches. Over 70 people took part, and more than 100 patches were created so far. Actually, the image on the right shows these patches put together into the this, quilt blanket, but it's not finished yet. As in Estonia, we have this co-creation session coming up at the end of next week during Tallinn Design Festival. So if anyone in Estonia is listening, it's on the 4th of October at Kooli Kvartal during the Tallinn Design Festival. I wanted to add a little bit more from my homeland, the Estonian side, so that's why slightly delayed, but still we're gonna have this co-creation session. And well, I think that's the end of my presentation. Maybe Carolina has any questions for me.
I have plenty of questions, but then I would like to, you sort of mentioned this straight away, that you telling us that we can, if we are in Estonia soon, we'll be able to somehow co-create this artwork. But then are you planning to make a more of this, not only Estonia? And if so, will you put it on your website, on your social media, that if somebody is like interested in participating in this? Because it's like amazing, it's amazing idea that you can collaborate on this wonderful artwork. If do you have like a scheduled plan, or is this like something that just like happens and then you meet people and then you invite them to participate? How does it work?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, so this artwork, which is called the Memory Map of Eastern Europe, as it covers pretty much all the countries for almost the northest country of Europe to the south. It will be displayed at the final exhibition of Tiny Spaces Deep Connections project next August in Oulu in Finland. And I very much hope that I can visit Oulu and that exhibition myself as well, and also add the co-creation from the Finnish side to it afterwards. But while creating this and meeting all these lovely people, connecting with everyone, sharing these amazing conversations, I realized that, I don't want this to end, that it's such a great way to connect, and also very a portable way to create whilst traveling, as this is involved a lot in my practice as well. And I decided to carry on a part of this project, and maybe next aim to create the memory map of the whole Europe. And who knows, maybe one day in 20 years, the memory map of the world. I was recently in Singapore and Thailand, and took these fabric pieces and the tools along with me. So I already have a contribution from those countries. And we will see if anyone is interested in participating, then definitely get in touch and let me know. During the trip, it was mostly in-person co-creation, but some of the pieces were sent to me from Slovakia afterwards. So perhaps remote participation could also be considered.
Great. I love the idea of somehow spontaneous, somehow friends making, somehow scheduled co-creation of an artwork that is just growing, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I would like to see this live, but just seen it in as a photo. We have some questions from the audience. So I'm gonna read it out loud to you, and then I hope that's fine. What other materials do you use when creating fashion apart from eggshells and kombucha? And also, what other materials are you thinking to explore? I think that's just about sustainable fashion, because please.
Well, I still continue ongoingly also work with leather, as leather is also an amazing and very durable material. It's actually also side product of the food industry, although I myself personally do not eat meat, but so many people do. And if leather wasn't utilized in production of accessories, footwear, then it would also create more environmental havoc. No leather that is used in fashion or accessories is other than anything else than the side product of the food industry.
Yeah.
And talking about biomaterials, during these years I've worked with different materials. I think maybe next I would be quite interested in exploring more the coffee grounds, as the coffee consumption is rising yearly, and I myself also love drinking coffee. So also the smell of the coffee grounds is amazing. So perhaps that would be my next material to explore.
Okay, fantastic. I would love to maybe one day wear gloves made of that smell of coffee. That would be just fantastic. Yeah. Um, that's some more questions, so let's go with it, because we already halfway through. I mean, we are half an hour in, so we said it's gonna be half an hour, but let's go. As you work across many different media and are always experimenting, what are your plans for future artistic endeavors?
Well, I can't reveal everything. Let's keep something a surprise for the future. So stay tuned and follow me on social media.
Great. Makes sense. And then another question would be, what emotions or feelings do you hope to evoke in your audience when they encounter your bio art?
That's a great question. Definitely, I would like to evoke feelings of connection with nature, of making people more think about the origin of the materials,
Yeah.
and how the things that they use, what is the footprint of those items and those materials. And perhaps question, can these things be replaced with the more nature-friendly materials?
Yeah.
As well as something along those lines.
That's great. And there's one more question that just popped in from Eva. The human factor brings the dynamism to the work, intervening in spaces for non-humans and offering a personal message with every stitch. I think it's more of a comment than a question. Personal message. I think it is, right? Don't you agree with that? I think it's a
Yeah,
first thing to say.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think we don't have any more questions. I would like to say one thing, because I really love your work, and it was a pleasure working with your artwork. It was very difficult as well, because when you put things in for the exhibition, you have to make decision. What should you put, and then how you what you're not about to include in the exhibition. and then your works are absolutely great and fantastic and fascinating, and then they evoke many feelings, and they make us think about our environment and about responsibility towards the environment, about who the audience should be, who the audience is, and then how we should approach the work, because like there's more and more dialogue and conversation about our impact on the earth, and also how exhibitions themselves, what sort of impact they have on the environment. And then you sort of because you work with fashion, that's that's your background, and you're a designer and you're a researcher. You provide us with lots of information, you provide us with lots of questions and lots of answers to it. So what I think I really want to say is it's absolutely amazing to see your work, and then I'm really grateful that you found some time to tell us more, because the final what we see at the exhibition is just the part of it, right? Because in your work, it's the whole process that makes sense, that actually is the work, because it's a work in progress, and it's a work in progress, and then it's a work in collaboration very often, and it's work with materials. So thank you.
Yeah, I have. Thank you, thank you for this opportunity. I found working with communities very enriching, and I was really happy to share this presentation today to show a little bit behind the scenes, especially for the work with bacterial cellulose. So rather than seeing the final products, to also see where it came from.
Yeah.
And talking about different emotions that are evoked by people looking at these materials or these pieces. I think whatever is the feeling that it evokes, as long as people feel something, be it they like it, or perhaps they don't like it, or it creates disgust, then as long as it creates some feelings, I think it has served its purpose, because the point of art is to make people feel, not just be robots.
Yeah, feel and then enter the dialogue, and then I feel like you enter dialogue, really strongly, and then you encourage people to just have their own opinion about it, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Start questioning everything.
Yeah. and I think one of the biggest questions also is like, who are the audiences, and then do we always have to create art for the humans and then for ourselves?
Exactly. Actually, interestingly, recently I have been to London Design Museum, where there was also a similarly themed exhibition, More Than Human, if I'm not mistaken, which kind of looked at the similar ideas of design for more than human and other than human. So I'm really glad to kind of see that these ideas are catching on a wider scale, and hopefully in the future, humans, rather than just selfishly extracting everything they want from our planet, will start to consider the needs of other species and perhaps give back. And sometimes the best way to give back is not to just not to touch the forest or things, let the nature take over. Like, for example, I happened with that abandoned shipyard, which turned into a park, as nature will always find a way.
I really hope that nature will always find a way, and I'm looking forward to see your works in outdoors, in the great outdoors. If I have a chance, I'm gonna go and see Cornucopia, guys. If you haven't seen the exhibition, yeah, please go pop in. We are open 24 hours, 24/7. There's we put Riina gave us location of the cornucopia, so you just can put your GPS and then get there. It's an island. It's a beautiful island. I haven't been there yet, but one day I will go and see how it looks like.
Yeah, bringing tourism to that teeny tiny village on the island with a population of 17 people.
That's great. If few people come, it's a tourist attraction. But then, yeah, please come see it. You have a better understanding of Riina's practice, and you can see the exhibition as well. It's still on. So yeah, thank you so much, Riina, for finding.
And thank you, Carolina, for having me here online, and also at your amazing gallery Melete, which can be accessed 24 hours, like you said. No need to go there physically, can just do it from your laptop or even phone, I think.
Yeah, it's better on a laptop though. Yeah, anyway, so guys, thank you so much for coming, for asking questions, and then for watching us. Yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and thank you, Riina, again. And have amazing ideas. I'm really looking forward, and maybe one day I will have a chance to just stitch something and then add it to the map.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that happens. The co-creation session in London is not yet confirmed, so stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.